Hi, I'm Lisa,
And I'm Ray.
and you're listening to
This Midlife Hustle.
In this episode, we're going to be talking about balancing life, focus, and struggles while trying to stay on track.
Yeah, I don't think I need to say anything more about that other than to say, stay tuned to learn. We're going to talk about how you and I both got stuck in different ways, right?
Yeah.
I got stuck in one kind of way. You got stuck in another kind of way. But let's get into the struggle is real. Like
It really is.
life and focus is how you open that up. And I think that's a good way to say it.
Yeah.
So what have your struggles been?
Getting back to researching and stuff like that for my idea.
Yeah.
I got a little sidetracked.
Yeah, sidetracked in life.
Yeah.
So this is the part you're talking about, life and focus.
Yeah. Yeah. We closed the salon. That took a lot out of us. We came back sick. That took a lot out of us. Next thing you know, it's the holidays.
Oh, wait. You had to go back.
Oh, I had to go back to finish up last minute things, mailings, boxes, packing, donations, color swapping. So yeah, it's been a little bit.
So it would be unfair to say you've like not done anything. You've been busy with other things
with other
in life.
stuff. Yeah.
And this is one of my, I guess we can hit it from different angles, but one of the things I was thinking about when we were preparing for this episode is the idea of this work-life balance. We talked about this in our first episode, actually, the hustle culture and stuff.
Yeah.
It's really hard to pursue. The way I look at what we're doing is I want this to be a hustle someday. I want this to be a business we can grow, whichever. Maybe we'll both do one, or we're doing it together right now under the same company name, but maybe two different brands or something.
Yeah.
But I want it to be a business that can grow. So it's important that whatever we do scales. But I may be getting a little lost in the fact that, like, even though I want it to scale, it's kind of got to start grassroots. It's got to start as a side hustle. It's going to start as a side hustle. Why? Because I make good money in my primary day job.
Yeah.
And you're really good at what you do, and you don't want to give that up as your primary job,
no,
right?
No.
But until we find something that can really give us the ability to pay our bills, pay our mortgage, and be completely financially independent, we really can't give that up, even if we wanted to.
Yeah. We have to find our balance the way we did when I was traveling back and forth week in, week out. I think we have to find our balance with our new life, to be honest with you.
Yeah, there's some overhead that has to do with like just you and I resettling into our new pattern of life.
Yeah.
Right? You're not traveling weekly anymore.
Nope, you're stuck with me.
You just got I prefer it. I prefer it that way. But, so there's that. There's also this notion that you just, you're coming off of a surgery, you're feeling a lot better, but you're still at the point where like the doctor's telling you it's going to be 6 months until you're normal 100%.
I already am counting down the days until July 26th.
Yeah. So it's been
frustrating.
But I've been trying and I've been trying to encourage you not to be too hard on yourself in the meantime. Like, you need this time to rest, recover. Yeah. It's good to do some thought exercises in here, like the research we're trying to do and things like that. But you're not going to be able to work for a little bit still, So yeah, that's like this getting organized is one of the things I was thinking about, like both internally. So there's business aspect of that. And there's also the life aspect of that. Yeah. Like what is this new norm for us going to be? How are we going to organize life and business?
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be an adjustment for sure. And the struggle is real because every time I'm like, okay, I have some time. You forgot to tell me I have a doctor's appointment, or you have a doctor's appointment, or the dog has something coming up. I just feel like me being here, all of a sudden, my schedule is getting packed with, again, I just come off of surgery. We are both got sick after that first travel selling the salon.
Yeah, so I hope that's short term.
Yeah, me too, because I don't like this schedule at all.
Yeah.
So
who would? I mean, it's basically been doctor's appointments and critical appointments of one sort or next one.
Now the dog threw her paw in there in the whole mix.
Right. She has an injury on her paw and she's limping.
She's limping and she has a vet appointment coming up. So it's like,
Right. Yeah, I was, in this section, I was prepared to be like critical of myself, and I was encouraging you to be critical of yourself. But when you actually look back at it, it's like, I don't think we've been, resting on our laurels,
I think the only time that we're sitting on the couch is A, if I get too exhausted because, again, my surgery, and B, when you're done with work, that's kind of mine and your time together.
Well, you need some of that time.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying it's not like we've done nothing in these past few weeks.
You've done a lot more than I have, for sure, 100%, because you've been bouncing ideas off of me, and I'm just not where you are right now. I hopefully I'm not going to be traveling for a while.
Yeah, you've had other things on your mind.
Yeah.
I'm saying I'm being in that. I was trying to be fair to you as well. Like, yes, I've been doing research, but it's been mainly thought research. Thinking about, all right, I looked at this product, looked at that product. In a previous episode, I shared how I had struggles with Alibaba and finding quality. I had a really good product idea, but man, I'm telling you, still to this day, all this stuff settled down. 6 vendors, nobody's communicating with me well. Nobody is giving me accurate pricing. Nobody's helping me move this thing along at all.
Yeah.
So like, it's something that I know I can do. I can like prototype it at home, but trying to find a supplier to do it at a lower cost and then have the quality be what I want it to be.
Yeah.
I'm just not comfortable with it yet.
I low-key knew that was going to happen with you, because you're just, you like quality. And I feel like a lot of these places are quantity versus quality.
Yeah.
Just get in, get it done, get out.
Yeah. Yeah. You did predict this, but I'm also trying to evolve myself a little bit here. It's like, if this is a business we're going to pursue, I can't always be the person who has to do it all. Like,
yeah.
I can't do all the little things. It's good for me to be intimately involved in any business like this and be grassroots and know all the bits of how something is done. There's a personal enjoyment that comes from that for me as well. But if ultimately I'm going to need to either pay somebody overseas to do it or hire people here in the States to do it, because there's no other way. Like, I can't be the one who does all the things. I'm not going to be able to scale it.
Yeah.
I can't personally make, 2,000 items a month or something like that, depending on the item.
You'd never get sleep.
Yeah. And then on top of that, like, thinking of new product ideas, running the business, doing the little stuff like accounting and taxes and all the stuff. Like, so I'm trying to think of like, yes, I know that's how I've been in the past. And you did predict that was going to be happening for that very reason. But somehow I need to figure out a way to evolve, or else I'm never going to scale.
Yeah.
So that's our current struggle right now, is really more about finding our new norm and figuring out, how to get some time in.
Yeah.
In the middle of keeping our day jobs and trying to move the ball forward.
Yeah. And that we also forgot that I'm also trying to look for space to rent on top of it all, because on a little bit of this downtime I have, I don't want to have too much of a downtime, but yeah.
Yeah. So this is about that time that we remind you, if you're hanging in there with us so far, you enjoy listening to us, you're following along, please do us a favor and like our podcast on any platform that you're listening to it on. Share it. Subscribe if you're on YouTube. Check out the YouTube bloopers. Those are doing better than our podcast at this point, actually. People seem to really like the bloopers. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please do go ahead and subscribe. If not, if you're listening to it on another podcasting platform, do check out the bloopers on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're getting, I think, a couple thousand likes one of them got already. And our channel's only got a handful. So it's a little crazy. All right. So next thing I figured we'd talk about is just giving some insight about exactly where each of us got stuck. And then the final section, we'll talk about what we're doing next. So let's try to focus ourselves right now on just explaining where we think we got stuck and any lessons we're learning from the stuck while we're in the mud. What are we learning? Right?
Yeah.
So where I got stuck was trying to find a vendor who would do the product that I wanted to the quality that I wanted. And ultimately I couldn't. And it actually caused, I don't know what you want to call it, an existential crisis or something, but like it caused a little mini crisis for me. Like, really, I can't find anybody who can do this. I'm sure I could if I just keep at it, but it shouldn't take this long. There's a lot of manufacturers out there. I guess part of the problem is I want it done cheaply and well. And that doesn't mix, right? Like, I can do it cheaply and well, but other people can't. So that led me to believe, like, well, all right, well, what else, what other product can I pursue? And am I going to just have to do something myself? And I went down this like thought process of really trying to think about, like, what is it that I enjoy? I have some equipment that I really feel like, it's not buyer's remorse, but every now and then, I think we talked about this in another episode. I buy items that are kind of more for like a hobby for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope to be able to maybe figure out a way to profit with them someday.
Yep.
I have a CO2 laser engraver right now.
Yep.
Still sitting in the box. It's a very expensive purchase.
Yep.
I really wanted to do something to make money with that.
Yep.
Just so I can justify the purchase and have some fun with it as well. But laser engraving, most of the ways people use it are to make custom one-off items in small batches for people, like, custom names for weddings and whatever, things like that. There's definitely money in that. It's just that it doesn't fit my schedule well. Because what happens, and I know this, at least, we're learning as we go, and I know this about myself. What's going to happen is I will do a good job. If I can set up another Etsy shop or something like that, I can do it on Amazon as well. When the orders start coming in, I'm going to feel pressured like, oh, order came in. I got to bang out this job. And all of a sudden, those jobs are dictating my nighttime. We're not spending time together anymore. I'm getting frustrated and upset. And it's just going to boil over. It'll make some money, but it's not going to make a lot of money. It'll probably make $5,000, $6,000 or something before I get frustrated with that this thing is owning my life.
Right.
So in realizing that, some of my lessons learned, I'm just kind of learning about myself a little bit. Like, I do enjoy the creative process. I do enjoy the making of things. Mm-hmm. And I do enjoy the customization of things. But I'm going to have to step away from the one-off customization, like personalization, let's call it that. Mm-hmm. I'm going to have to step away from the personalization aspect because that's too time-consuming for me. So if I can come up with a custom design that I think people will like a large quantity of people, and then in a weekend mass produce 1,000 of those things and send them off to Amazon and use FBA, then I'm out of the picture entirely. I don't have to worry about the shipping and all that stuff.
Right.
People place an order, they're happy too because they get it faster. Right. So this is where my mind is going, and I'm going to stop short of the next steps. I'll save that for later. But I'm just like learning about myself and learning about Amazon and learning about how we're trying to do it. That model also may scale because if I find something, a product that does have that kind of ability to scale well, like, oh, I found an audience here in a market. People enjoy this product. People like this product. They want more of it. They want more of it than I'm able to produce in a weekend. That will force me to kind of like, all right, now I need to work with somebody else who can do this in a larger quantity than I'm able to. Mm-hmm. And then I can be specific about, quality controls and stuff like that.
Right.
And I'll have to do the math on how much it costs them to do versus it'll always be cheaper for me to do it because I'm free labor basically.
Right.
Somebody else has to add their labor to the equation.
Right.
So that's where I'm at right now. And that's what I'm learning about, kind of about myself. And I'm trying to put myself in a box, in a corner to say like, I need to stay focused. I can't do the things that I can do things that I find personally interesting, but that's hobby. That's not business.
Yeah.
And if I'm not careful, I'll get lost in the hobby and won't come back on my path to business. So to give you an example of that, I was talking to you about casting pewter the other day. I really am into 3D printing. I'm into molding, and I'm into some special processes that I think were novel when I first started doing them. And now a lot of other people are doing them, where I was 3D printing, then using that to create a mold, then casting custom materials in that mold. Right? Mm-hmm. Everybody's doing that now. But when I was first doing it, not a lot of people were. So I'm tempted to do some work like that just to create a novelty item, a novelty product that will have like a special class to it. Like if I were to create a custom emblem and cast it in pewter or something and have a special emblem on my products, that may be neat. But I can outsource that, something like that, to some of these China distributors fairly easily once I'm ready to order something like that in bulk. But you can't order something like that in small numbers because the machinery, the way it works is they can make, 100 of them faster than they can make one. They make it like they use these custom dies. They get all the die or the setup. And there's a setup fee. And once you pay that setup fee and that cost, they can run them in large quantities faster than I can.
Yeah.
But I got to get to the point where I'm ready for that. And so I think this is where I'm at. I'm going to do some of these things that I find personally enjoyable and interesting. So I'm kind of marrying my passions with some work. But I have to keep an eye on the fact that I want it to be something that I believe is scalable beyond me. I can do it now, but it scales beyond me later.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at.
Yep.
Let's talk about yours. Where did you get stuck?
Yeah, I got stuck a few weeks ago on 3 different products. It really stumped me. So I've been doing a lot of research and to see obviously it's hair products, and I just have to continue on researching. It's a lot. I thought mine was going to be wham bam, thank you ma'am, let's order it, but it's not.
That's interesting you say that, because that was my mental model for my product as well. We both picked something that was in a domain. We looked at the research in Jungle Scout, and it looked like there is a demand and we could have pursued it. And I thought, I know this area so well, it's going to be like easy for me to just get this going, and it wasn't.
Yeah.
And you're finding the same thing.
I'm finding the same thing, because what's out there is mind-blowing. What people are paying for what they're getting, and then they complain about it. So I don't want that reflecting on what we're doing. So it's I'm getting a little scared, if that makes sense, because I don't want someone to, come back at us and stuff like that. So I narrowed it down to 3. Now it's just finding the right products, and I'm stuck.
So we'll talk about what's next in the following section. But what did you learn kind of about yourself? Let's focus in on that for a second.
I'm more of a perfectionist, and I didn't think I was. I mean, I am in this industry, but for something like this, I thought for sure.
I know what your product is, and it's been done so many times, but really nobody's done it to the level of quality that you would have expected.
Yeah. Right now, there's no longevity. People complain that they have to repurchase it. It doesn't last as long as what the description is saying. So I'm looking for.
I know you're really focused on like instructions or tutorials, or they don't know how to. They're not really told how to use it properly.
No, I at least narrowed it down to 3.
Yeah,
and now I'm stuck. I don't know where to go from there. And I actually was going to talk to you about it at some point.
Yeah,
when you're done going through your mental math and mental process of your product.
Yeah, it's interesting. Before we move on to that next step section, it's interesting because you and I haven't had a lot of time to sync up outside of the podcast this week.
Yeah.
And I was actually thinking the same thing. Like, we may need to combine forces here. Like, either you need to help me with mine. I mean, we do bounce ideas off each other all the time anyways, but I'm talking like all in. Like, my idea may be bigger than I can do alone.
Yeah.
And your idea may be bigger than you can do alone.
I think mine is bigger than I can do alone. I have come to that conclusion. So yeah, for sure. I can't. I'm at the next steps. We'll talk about it. But
so that's what I've been thinking about, the same thing. Like, you and I need to really consider, can we pursue both of these in parallel?
Yeah.
Maybe we can if mine is lightweight enough in the start.
Yeah, I don't know.
But, it may be difficult to pursue both of these in parallel and have life going on.
Yeah.
Trying to pay the bills.
I think it's going to, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we have a good mess for our listeners to reason to stay tuned in to the next couple of weeks, see how that works out or doesn't. As we started this podcast, we said, hey, either learn from us or laugh at us. I don't care which. But we're trying. We're out there doing something, though.
Yeah, we're trying.
So you can't blame us for not taking action.
Yep.
Well, so let me talk about my next steps. So my next steps, I'm a little worried about, because I've been down this path before. I feel like what I need to do is almost like I have a couple ideas, and I think I found an idea that is something I can do in bulk. Like, I can get set up over a weekend, create literally, I think I can get to the point where I'm creating like 1,000 of these items a weekend.
So you are now, I don't think you told the viewers, you are now going to be doing something yourself.
Yeah, I think I've made that conclusion.
Okay.
I've come to that conclusion because I need to be in control of quality, in control of the little details, and trying to take advantage of some of the other investments that I've already made in customization products, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to be ordering things that I can, the only difference, I'm going to be customizing the items, but I'm not going to be doing personalization. So this way, I have a custom idea that I want to create that hasn't been done before. I create the design myself. I implement that design.
Okay.
This is different than personalization where, Joey wants his name on something.
Yeah.
And then I got to set up that job, confirm it with him. Do you like it? Is all the wording correct? Right?
Yeah.
No, none of that. I'm going to do a custom job, something that nobody else has done before, a unique design, implement it, and then I'll make 1,000 of those. Right?
Yeah.
That's my idea right now. That's how I'm going to make money with some of the customization stuff that I've done. So it's basically not customization. It's creating. I'm actually manufacturing is what I'm doing.
Yep.
Right. So that's one thing. But my problem is our garage is mess.
I was going to say. Bye-bye garage.
I used to have a nice workshop when we lived in upstate New York.
Yeah.
Our garage was set up to be a nice workshop, and I had multiple rooms and a lot of space. I don't have that so much here. I mean, we do have a lot of space, but I'm trying not to commandeer the whole house as a workshop.
Yeah.
We have one room that's for,
workout, relaxation.
We almost don't even use that room, but
I do not take it away from me.
That's become your workout and relaxation room. This room has become my office. I remotely work out of here, and we have it set up for podcasting.
Yeah.
So this room's out. And so I do have a nice little small side stall in the garage. It's going to make a nice workshop area, but that means it's a little frustrating because I get like this with ADD sometimes. I'm now going to get frustrated with myself for feeling like I'm not taking action because all of the work I want to do has to be on pause until I get all that area set up and cleaned up and organized to be able to do this work.
I think the hardest part about living in Florida is storage and no basement.
No garage. Yeah, no basements.
And because we used to put all that stuff in basements.
Right. I would even have a workshop in a basement before. Yeah. All right. So my next steps. I did research a different product, a few other products, and I'm trying to follow this tangent of, all right, it's going to have to be something that I can put my own custom mark on, do something that's elite, premium, best of class, right? That's me.
Yep.
But
very much you.
Yeah, that's me. I want to do something handcrafted, small batch, exclusive, right? And I want it to look exclusive in premium and premier so that it can carry a premium price tag as well, right? And have people not feel ripped off when they pay that premium price tag. So not just the looks, not just the optics, but the quality of the product as well has to deliver.
Yeah.
Right. And then it's a premium product. And so I found a couple ideas, and I shared one of them with you that I think has a good profit margin that I think fits this bill, that I can, once I learn how to do it and get set up with the right tools and equipment, I'll be able to bang out a lot of them. Right.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited about that idea. I think there's a couple others I had, but this one I think I'm most excited about because I think it'll be easiest to do and to be able to do in bulk, and it will grow. It is a saturated market though, but welcome to the 2024. Like everything's a saturated market lately. It's just a matter of who's doing it better and who's got something unique to bring to the table. And hopefully I'll be able to find an audience that way.
Yeah.
But I hope I don't end up being stuck, but that's where I'm at. I think I've realized it's okay to do custom, not personalized. Personalized I can do for myself and friends and family, but not as a business anymore because it takes too many hours of my day. And let me just say it like this. I think if I ever wanted to, maybe in retirement or something, I know enough about the personalization business that I think I can make some good side money. But there's no way I can make the salary that I'm making right now doing that type of work.
Not just on the,
Yeah, not unless I owned a major online business that did it and I had multiple people working under me. And I'm not about to do that.
Yeah.
There's enough people already doing that.
Yep.
Right.
Sure.
So I don't want to compete in that space. I want to compete in providing a product that is something that's in demand and people appreciate and want and are willing to pay for and has a good profit margin.
Yeah.
And I think I've found that product. And so I'll give some more updates on that in later weeks.
Yep.
But I'm going to get my garage set up for all that. And now I'm going to be frustrated because maybe I'll try to use some of this time, but it's not like I'm doing nothing though. I was going to say maybe I'll try to use some of this time to help you with your idea. But again, it's not like I'll be doing nothing. If I'm spending my time effectively.
Yeah, you have to get the garage.
I got to get set up for all that. And there's equipment I have to buy. The equipment's not going to be cheap either.
Yeah.
It's not going to be, just for relative reference to our audience, I'm talking, by the time we're done, it's probably going to cost me a couple $1,000s just to get set up in equipment. As unfortunately, I will say, some of my hobbies have been more than that. So the number doesn't scare me so much, and especially because I think I'll be able to make the money back in this one.
Yeah.
The fact is that I need to buy the equipment, which also sends me into a tailspin of, how am I going to get everything set up? What's the best equipment at this price point? I'm not always looking for the best, but the best at this price point, or something that's good enough for me to create awesome quality without spending $30,000 on some bulk equipment manufacturing, setup. Like I'm not going to do that. That's crazy, right?
Yeah.
So that's where I stand, and those are my next steps. I'm going to be spending a lot of time getting organized, creating brand images, getting the stuff set up to be able to make these items. And then finally, I'll be able to come back to Amazon and all that. In the meantime, I do want to still do more learning about Amazon FBA and how to get set up and all that. But
Yep.
that's where I stand right now.
Yep.
What are your next steps?
My next steps are ordering some of these products that I've been researching and testing them out.
So
I can't do it on myself. I have to find someone who's not a stylist and have that. My sister's not. So maybe, and she's coming to visit soon. So maybe I'll have her try to do it on herself.
The important thing here, I think I was explaining to you this when you were telling me the problem you're having. Evaluating your competition is one aspect of it.
Yeah.
But you're not really doing it entirely for that reason. The products that you want to create, there are, again, that market is saturated. There's a lot of them.
It is. But the money that these people are making, even though they're saturated, I mean, it is crazy.
Yeah.
We just have to find the one that everyone keeps coming back for.
Yes. So let me finish that point I was trying to make, is just that the market is saturated. You're not really doing this to evaluate competition. You're doing it as a way to learn more about the product you want to create.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Evaluating
sure.
the different options out there and how people are using it and where they're getting stuck.
Yeah.
That's more interesting to you.
Yeah.
Solving that problem of, yes, there's a lot of these products out there, but people aren't using them right. So if you don't know how to use it right, if it's something you can't use effectively, of course, it's going to lead to people getting frustrated and getting upset that they paid a lot of money and can't use a product properly.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think just to have a little talk about this in that space, I was just thinking when you were telling me this problem, that the part of the nature of the problem is a lot of people going into this space aren't thinking of it like you. The people who are selling them are already hair professionals and they know how to use them.
Some of them are not.
Well, let me say it a different way though. They're being sold to a target market that are hair professionals.
Yeah.
So even if they're selling them on Amazon, they're expecting other hair professionals to buy them. But instead, Amazon is an open market. So yeah, a hair professional might buy it, but probably your bigger market is everybody else on Amazon who just wants to try it.
Yeah, you're right. But I'm trying to focus on education and maybe materials, videos, things like that I have not seen yet. There is a description. Of course, everyone gives a description, but a lot of people are visual. They might need a video that like, stop. Okay. Rewind. Okay. All right. Stop. Kind of.
Yeah. In part though, I think what I'm trying to tell you is that I'm proud of you and excited for you for realizing this because you are a hair professional as well.
Mm-hmm.
You could have easily looked at this and saw customers complaining and be like, oh, because they're doing it wrong. They don't get it. Right.
Yeah.
And that's what these people who are selling these things are missing out on. They don't realize they're selling to the wrong audience. You've identified that right away.
Yeah.
So if you can figure out a version of this product that is approachable by consumers and they get consistently good results with, you will kill the competition.
Kill it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my next steps is talking to you, researching, evaluating how much time, and then either put a pin in it until yours is up and running and then go back to mine, or see if we can do it at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm excited about your idea just as much as I am mine, but it's a space and I don't.
Yeah.
So I can only help kind of on the sidelines there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And hopefully you'll do the same with mine.
Yeah.
Because I think it's the thing that I'm looking to get into. You actually thought about doing yourself once and
At
you
one
have
time.
a lot of opinions about.
Yeah. Years and years and years ago. And then I was like, this is too much work.
Yeah. I think once I get shut up, I'll show you that it's not, it shouldn't be as much work as you thought it was going to be. Yeah. Yeah. You know how I am. I do deep dives and try to learn all the science and all the stuff about it. Like just absorb all the knowledge from other people that have been doing it for the years. I stand on shoulders of giants. There's been people who out there who are making products of all different sorts, and I'm basically just learning from them.
Yeah.
And then put my own twist on it.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of thing I enjoy doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a good kind of summary is where we are.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure we really need a recap this week either, because basically we just talked about how we're struggling with the work-life balance, where we got stuck, and what we think our next steps are. And I think really all I need to do is tell folks to stay tuned and see how this mess works out.
Mm-hmm.
This is real life. We're trying to share it again in real time and, sharing what we learn and even the frustrations and struggles that we're going through.
Yeah.
So hopefully you guys appreciate that. If anybody's interested, once things get going, we don't have too big of an audience right now, but maybe by the time you're listening to this, there will be.
Yeah.
And And we do have a Patreon at patreon.com/thismidlifehustle. You can sign up for that. And we'll be sharing, resources that we've learned along the way of notes and show notes and things like that, depending on what level you access. You'll be part of a community where you can ask questions as well. So be sure to check that out if you're interested. And in the meantime, I think Lisa probably just wants to remind you.
Please like, share, and subscribe.